Holito Iwinatu Kineski. All right. So let's look at this. Um, when we're looking at nations and we're trying to find out why do they look the way that they do? Um, why do they have this particular color in their flag? Why does their flag look like ours? Um, so people are trying to find out why everything is happening the way it is. Let me just dive into this for those who are forensic scientists. We look at everything and we get a clue. You look at the Liberian flag and you look at the United States flag, right? The banner. They look alike, right? And then you find out the founding of Liberia, a bunch of people from Alabama were charted over there. A lot of people from Alabama are in Liberia from like the 1800s. We know this to be a fact. This is why they share a semblance, you know, of cousinry. And then when you look at, the Liberian only has like one star in it. And then you look at ours, we have like 50, 51 stars in ours. Liberia is another state. And then you look at like, who has blue in their flag? New Zealand. New Zealand, Australia, they share the same color. Also the UK. They share the same color with the US banner, that navy blue. This means you're related to them. You see what I mean? And you say, well, where's the African indigenous side that's related to all the other nations? That's where you go and see the red. Red represents family. It represents relation. It represents nationhood. This is where you find Chile, the Emirates, Turkey, Egypt, Mali, Oman, Morocco, Albania, Bermuda, Jordan, Russia. You find like a lot of African countries, like Yemen. You find like a lot of African countries. You know what I mean? That red represents our empire, our nations, our cousins when we were one. When the world was more freer. You know what I mean? That goes that word free again, free inhabitant. When the world was African, that's what that red represents. And then you have the white, right? Somalia has the white star. You see what I mean? This is how you can tell who you were related to in the past, just by looking at your nationhood, your banner, your flag. This is how you can tell who you're related to. Like Lebanon, for instance. Lebanon has the white and red in it with the green cedar tree, which means you hold relation with them. You are either over there or they were over here, the original people. And the original people probably were Africans. You see what I mean? Negroes. It's African people in Lebanon. You see what I mean? So you have Iran, who has red and white. You have Iraq, who has red and white. Japan has red and white. France has red and white. Korea. These are all families. This is how you can tell where you were in the past. They're visual markers. You see what I mean? So you look at Congo. Congo has green, yellow, and red. Chad, yellow and red with navy blue. These are your people. I can look at some Chadians, right? And I look at them and I say, these people, like, it's people in their militia, right? Who looks just like people I grew up with in Chicago. Like that dark brown skin, like exactly like those people. 1% no different. They don't have a percentage of difference. They look exactly alike. You know what I mean? Then you got Benin, who has the red in it. You see? All these are nations. And people are continually trying to find a difference in who they are. Scotland, navy, blue, and white. Rwanda, green and red. Like it gets, you can't get any different. Peru, red and white. Peru has red and white. Mexico, green and red. How many nations has green and red in it? It's so many nations that has green and yellow in it. You know, yellow represents the sun, so everything under the sun is related. Again, if you know masonry, you would know everyone in the world is related. This is why Masons don't talk. This is why Masons don't assimilate with everybody. They stay to themselves. Because they've been taken to the mountaintop. They know the truth now. They're not treating everyone differently than everyone. You look at Eastern Stars and, Knights of Malta. You see what I mean? You look at the people here in America, and like you have all these secret societies. Muhammad Society. You have all these different, like there's an apartment building where Muslim Masons go and meet like every Saturday or Sunday. They go there and they meet. They walk up the steps, close the door, and they're in there for hours just talking or whatever. And these people are from like Pakistan or somewhere. And they're in there just talking. It's like a little apartment building, right? They probably use the second floor for spacing. And they're in there talking, and they're probably talking about, what they can do to do this and do that and whatever they're talking about. You can see how over time people came to be. Singapore, Thailand, they share similarity and semblance with Spain. Again, this is your Moorish connection. Pakistan, Spain, Thailand, Spain. That's your Moorish connection right there. You say, who were these people who were ruling these empires that was called Singapore? Africans. You know what I mean? Africans. You have the country of Malta that's, their flag is red and white. That's an American society. So who are the Africans in that society that's from that area, that's from that country line? Because again, like when you look at Americans, we weren't always in just this one country. We were all spread out. And we all have family who came from these nations who looked African American. They don't tell you these things. This is why if I see someone who has one of these flags up, I will be like, okay, I know they know the truth. I almost want to put the Saudi Arabian flag outside my home because I felt like I was there. I had wrote like each one of these flags represent a conscious. Each one of these flags represents a conscious. If you're on 1 degree, you're probably from Brazil. If you're on 2 degree, you're probably from Croatia. If you're on the 3rd degree, you're probably from Benin. You know what I mean? Like, you have to keep changing your flag every time your mind raises in degrees. You see? Like Honduras. Dr. Sabi is from Honduras. Their flag is blue, navy blue, and white. So when you think of the navy blue, you and Dr. Sabi people met on the waters. You all shared water together. You all were one family. You see what I mean? Because you have navy blue in the U.S. banner. This is how you have to look at these things. And this is exactly how you have to look at these things. So use your smarts and like show them different flags. Raise them. They're your flags. I have a Peru flag. I have a Moroccan flag. I have a Israel flag. I have so many flags. So many flags. Like, raise your flags. Great peace. Yaakov.